Welcome to Planet of War: The Legend of Wu. Today we want to introduce this game to you, and yeah, let's get just right into it. Yeah, this is an open world RPG, and you can explore many things, you can make many decisions, and we start with deciding which difficulty we want to play at. The difficulties are mainly differentiated by the skill points you get. We just take normal for now. You can decide later on. During the game you can also lower the difficulty if you made a too hard choice. We start with the tutorial. We start as little Chen, and he's talking to his father. You can read the dialogues yourself when you play the game. I don't want to spoil too much. Yeah, your father is teaching you a lot of things when you're a kid, and you can also ask him about your past, your mother. We'll skip this for now. His first task for you is to find 5 berries. So while doing that, he explains how we move. We move with the arrow keys, and yeah, let's just collect the berries. Some are here. We can also click everything. This bush has no berries on it. This one does. So, and you see we're collecting the berries, but we get no response. Why is that? We can go into the menu, which was explained in the text before, and here we have a quest journal. In this quest journal we can find all available quests by clicking on them. Here we can see Father's order. Our father is really strict, and that's why the quest is also named like that. We can scroll down or go by page down, and here we see the quest. And under objectives we also see how much berries we already found. He asked us to find 5, we have 4 out of 5. So, and now we can see the quest in the right top corner. So, one left. So this one is has no berries on it, this bush, but this one obviously we already collected one like that before. So there was a hissing sound. Something is beneath there. Our father warns us that the earth has contaminated, and there are very strange and very aggressive beasts around. So now we start our first battle and we learn our first lesson of the game. If we want to use abilities like the starting ability Punch, we need to breathe, because as you can see in the bottom left, the violet line is for how we can have our turn, because fights are round based, but the faster the character is, the faster he gets his turn. The character is now fully healed, he has all his hit points, but his stamina are lost because he already lost his stamina when he evaded the attack before, and he's a little bit out of breath. So we use breathe, and usually breathe recovers half of our stamina. This also applies to enemies. Enemies basically use the same abilities as our character. So after the mutation attacked us, it also has to breathe. So now we attack ourselves. So, next attack. So, again, we don't have enough stamina to attack, so we breathe again. Also, each character and enemy has always a chance to miss or to evade. So we finished our first fight, our character gets experience points, and yeah, he is not very happy about this meeting with the mutation. So we gained the berries, And we also met our first enemy. But yeah, we can see this in the question as well. We see we have already completed quest because we met mutated animals. All recurring enemies we meet later on in the game will occur in enemy logs. So if you'd like to, you can look up your enemies. We will take a look at that in another video. So for now, we have found 5 out of 5 berries, and like usual we have to get back to the one who gave us a quest. In this case it's our father Diego. So every time we completed a quest, our convincing raises. Yeah, people believe in us more, and we believe in ourselves. So it's much more easy for us to convince others for our cause, which is very important in the later parts of the game. So yeah, our father, he has very good senses. He senses something coming. So he wants us to hide because yeah, we are not very much battle experienced yet. So we hide. Meeting these creatures, we can try out much more different styles of battle skills, because Diego, he has already different melee attacks, like the straight, like the roundhouse kick, or he can also attack with a blade. He can use chakra magic attacks, from a basic beam to a very deadly death beam, and a powerful volley which attacks all enemies at the same time. But he also has a very powerful weapon which we will use for now to get finished with it faster. But if you like to, you can try different techniques here in this tutorial. So let's use the array to hit all enemies at once. Yeah, that took care of them. Now let's hope we can finish the last one with this laser shot. Ah, he withstood our attack. Let's do a simple blade attack. We can also do the roundhouse kick, but before we do that, the enemy has already died. Because we applied bleeding to the enemy with our sword, and our enemy died from the bleeding. Okay, not too hard for our father. He's very experienced in fighting. And now he's gone, so we wonder where he went and follow him. So, as usual, this was just a tutorial to the game for you to try out some basic mechanics. And now we meet at the present our fiancée Cherry, and yeah, there will also always be some nice dialogues. It's up to you if you want to find out about every character. There are many background stories to find out about, and about the characters, about the different factions you will meet later in the game. And yeah, it's for you to decide how much you want to go into it or not. So we can use beds to recover ourselves when there are no enemies around, but we don't need to recover yet because we just started. Our character, now an adult, is fully recovered, even though he woke up from the bed. So yeah, before we go out, let's get our clothes. It's always good to talk to every character, like our fiancée, not just because it's the fiancée of your main character, but also, like always, maybe she has something interesting to tell us. In this case, she's not just a very nice person, she also has a little quest for us she wants us to find our little pet, and she wants us to get us some nice food for the wedding. Alright, let's just leave. So here the character advises you to use your skill points in the skill tree. So, and this is where you can see that this game is, it's different from many other normal RPG Maker games. It's very complex in its skill trees and how the personality system works. So I think in this regard, the game in its complexity is very much on the same level with a AAA game. We will jump over the explanation for now. We have weapon abilities, which we learn from weapon masters. The only weapon abilities we can learn ourselves are fighting with maces. But don't forget, you can learn to fight with maces, but you also need to use a mace as well. So if you don't have any, it's not very useful to skill it. The same applies for all weapons, of course. If you want to use energy weapons, it would be best to have an energy weapon as well. So on the right hand side we see the personality tree. All these personalities trees skills activate automatically depending on the decisions you made. So we have cold-hearted, which is explained by intimidate here. If you are more cold-hearted, you intimidate people, and some people you can make them do what you want by intimidating them. But on the other hand, for other people it might be better to use empathy on them. So to have a high empathy, you need to be very kind-hearted. And it's also always good to be convincing. So yeah, you might need some convincing as well. So convincing you get just by doing quests, by advancing in the main story. But kind-hearted and cold-hearted we get through decisions. We will see one in a few minutes. So, also you have very many skills. You can see here by the arrows you always need to skill the lowest skill first, and depending on that you can go to the advanced skills. So in this case, if we activate Learn Straight, we can now activate the Foot Sweep skill, or the Elbow Strike, the Footwork skill, or all these passive skills, which is Iron Fist and so on. You can look it up yourself, or you can watch the next video on how the skill trees are, because there will be a video about the different skill trees about the characters, so spoiler alert if you watch that one. So, the skill system, as you can see, is very complex, and there are also very many different damage types, but we also will take a look at that in a different video. For now we just leave the skill tree. Yeah, there will be, we can go into much more detail there. On a low difficulty, you can just use skills and win the game just by using them. So if you don't use any skills, you will surely lose the game on every difficulty. But on low difficulty, you can just try everything out. If you go for a harder difficulty, you might want to think about every skill point and how you use it beforehand. So for now, here are many quests in this starting village. As we can see here, if we just talk to Peter, a little boy of the village, he asked us to take care of the mutations in the village. So yeah, it would be best to do that, take care of that, because we don't want our children to get into danger. We can also find this quest, of course, in our quest log. You see here, children at risk. And for every quest you can read the description if you're not sure where to live, and Also, you can always follow it, like that one. Now we see again in the right top corner, kill the mutations in the cave. We could go to the cave here on the right and finish this quest and give it back to Peter, who really much admires us for helping them and being as strong as we are. But as the game continues, we want to get much stronger than that. Yeah. So for now, let's take a last look on how the personality system works. We have in the bottom on the normal menu screen 3 stats: convincing, kind-hearted and cold-hearted. Convincing is already at 10 because as a child we learned from our father and our village respects us for being as strong as we are. Kind-hearted reflects on how nice we are to people and how much empathy we show, and cold-hearted, yeah, how cold-hearted we are, how much we intimidate people. And everything, it's not being the good or the bad guy, because Qianfu will always be the hero of the story. He wants to help people, but you can decide in this action-driven game on how he does that. Because if you are always kind-hearted, there may be some missions you can't finish, because yeah, some bad guys maybe don't will respond well to being too kind-hearted. On the other hand, if you always be cold-hearted, some people maybe don't want to help you. So it doesn't matter which course you are, there will always be some obstacles you may not pass. This is also true if you finish the game. There are several different endings of the game, and every ending of the game depends on how kind-hearted or cold-hearted you are. So you can't always decide, because if you're kind-hearted or cold-hearted is very high, it might be automatically. Like in the ending will depend on how you decided beforehand. There will be no final deciding after you finish the last boss. So, and here in the beginning you learn all these mechanics while doing the game. Here we have a very simple decision to make. The raider here, he's close to our village and he fell in a hole, so he asked us to help him out, but the raiders already attacked our village. So again, it's for you to decide to help him get out of the hole, so he might live and is not starving in this hole. You can just leave him on his own there, or you can kill him. And I think it's very obvious, if we kill him, that's very cold-hearted. If we help him, that's very kind of us, because he's obviously a bad guy. So if we help him, this also can have negative results. In this case, he stole our money after we helped him out. So that's just a little bad thing that happened to us. It's not very important at the beginning. We will find much money later on. But yeah, every decision can always have a bad result as well. You don't always know how the people respond. So this is the overworld. We can find many quests here if you go to other villages. So here we are in a new village, and we can do much more choices. We can find out much more about the world our character is living in. And yeah, I hope you liked our first introduction of the game, and I'd like to hear from you through comments. If you have some questions, don't feel afraid to ask them. Yeah, and I hope you have a very nice day and be well. Bye!